So we've just arrived to the famous Papa Zouk's restaurant. As you can see, short, right? It's just evidence that I'm in the Caribbean. Right, so we're walking into Papa Zouk's now. Just get you an idea of the restaurant and bar. There is the main man that we're going to be talking to in a moment. Really beautiful place. Had dinner here and a few drinks many times. I'm sure you don't remember me. That's how many people that pass through this place. There you go. Hi, another episode from the Rum Reverend. I'm here today, still in St. John's, Antigua, and I'm at the famous Papa Zouk's restaurant. It's a definite must for anybody who visits Antigua. And I'm here with the owner, Bert Kirshner.
Bert Kirshner is correct.
Right,
yes.
And I'm here with Bert Kirshner. And we're just going to have a quick chat, little background about himself, the restaurant, the times he's been through, and the plans for the future, which is probably a bit more difficult because nobody understands what the future's going to be at the moment. But pleasure to meet you, Bert.
That is just about rounding it up. Pleasure to meet you.
How long have you had Papa Zouk's?
It is now going to be the 21st year.
Wow.
Well, it is the 21st year. It's going to be 21 years soon, coming up in June.
So this would be an anniversary year for you, sort of 21 years.
21 years in June.
Right.
Yeah.
And hopefully things will open up more, that you can have a small celebration of such.
Yeah, it's kind of sad to have a place like this dormant, lying there. All this rums is waiting for everybody. And everybody's waiting for the rums.
Oh, yes, we still are.
But as things go, the place had to be shut down, Antigua, in that regard. No restaurants open, no bars open. So little Papa Zouk is suffering right now.
Okay. Well, hopefully for not too long. So, did you start a restaurant by yourself?
I started it with my best friend Peter.
Okay.
We used to go to a place in Villa, close by actually, where a local guy had a fish fry. It became like a religion. Every Friday, Saturday we were eating either fried snapper or old wife. So we did that for years. Smoke cigars, drink rum, talk politics. And then one good day the owner decided to close it down, at least where the location was. It was very rustic, very down to earth, very local. And he built an ice cream parlor, I called it. A concrete building and white light, and then it had no atmosphere, you know? So we couldn't see ourselves going there, you know. So there were we. What are we gonna do now? Fridays, Saturdays, and my sister-in-law owned this little place here where she was running it for the school, which is opposite. It was nothing like this. It was really like
just a shell.
Yeah, a ragamuffin place, you know. A shell, you can say. But she wanted out of it, and I said, yes, look, let me take it over. And we started off in very humble ways in the kitchen. There was a small kitchen, and Peter and myself, we fried the snapper and the old wife on a Friday, Saturday. And
so you wanted to replicate the experience that you missed?
Got some friends back, you know. They were happy that we were doing that. And it actually evolved out of that.
So it actually started as a restaurant? Fundamentally.
Well, it started with drinking rum, of course. Fish and rum. Right. This is what it still is. You know. So the slogan actually for Papa Zouk has remained for so many years. If you like seafood, Zouk, which is our music, French Creole music, and rum, Papa Zouk is the place to come.
Right.
So that is what it was, and that's what it is, and that's what it will be.
So the logic, you moved nicely onto where I was going. Where did the name Papa Zouk come from? Because your name's Bert, his is Peter, but yet we've got Zouk in the music. Papa, 21 years ago, you were young men, so you weren't Papas.
Actually, when we decided to open up our little place, it was the same time when our old friend Papa Zouk, which was a very old man. That's him, and I was actually able, and that's another story. I painted him a couple of months ago. So this old man lived in Dominica, where Peter and myself started in '79. I opened up a dive shop in a hotel at the Sister Hotel. Scuba diving, an instructor. So within the hotel compound lived this old man. He had nothing in life. He had an old stinking mattress in the maintenance department of the Sister Hotel. He did the odd cleaning jobs. He got some scraps, some food and some drinks, and that was it. Now me coming from Germany, that kind of life, I said, oh my God, you know, that's terrible. But the old man proved me wrong.
He was happy.
He was happy 24/7, every single day. And his story hasn't ended yet, because he was deaf and he was dumb on top of it. So pretty miserable, being deaf and dumb, having an old stinking mattress, just getting some scraps. Anybody would think, oh my God, what a poor old man. But he was happy every day. And he kind of taught me my life's doctrine, which I gave on to my children as well, which is life should not be about chasing the buck, but rather chase happiness. And I love the man so much, so when we left Dominica a year and a half after that, so we came here in the early '81, I still sent money, you know, trying to stay in touch with him and so forth. We of course went over back to Dominica on vacations and stuff and saw him, you know. But he then deceased. Nobody really knew how old he was. But he kind of stayed in here, right? Just like Dominica always stayed with me in the heart. So when we opened up this place, we were searching for a name. So I said, oh look, this has to be Papa Zouk. He has to be alive again.
He has to live on.
He has to live on, you know. And what he really liked was what we were doing here. He liked his rock,
And he liked his
seafood,
yeah.
and this Zouk. Why they called him Papa Zouk was, although he couldn't hear, he must have felt the vibration of the music. And he could dance. And everybody, to the Zouk music, because that's what is played in Dominica, Zouk music. And everybody called him Papa Zouk.
Interesting story.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Papa Zouk is...
So this now is a warmer affinity to the place, because it's in his memory, really.
Absolutely.
And it remains, and it's somebody that was dear to you as well.
Yes.
Even though, you know, you were distanced from him for such a long time. But,
correct. But he stayed in me, you know, because...
Let's wind back. So you said you were German.
I was German, yeah.
Oh, still are German, probably. No, you're now Antigua man.
I am long time Antigua. So I have one passport.
Yeah, okay. So were you living in Germany when you moved to Dominica?
I lived in Germany, close to Frankfurt, little village. Scuba diving was my hobby. And I was always a person liking to see the world. And so I took off my journey, and one of the first stops, well, the first stop was Dominica. Not really thinking that that would be the last one, you know. We were Peter then, which I got down here. We were dreaming, we were friends before, played in the same rock band, to go and see the world, you know. Maybe sail for the Pacific, blah, blah, blah.
And your wife fell in love.
Happened.
And your wife fell in love.
It never happened. So, yeah, but Dominica had a pretty tumultuous history. We were there at the wrong time, I guess. An attempted coup d'etat was happening. Things got pretty hairy there, and we just we just didn't think we were safe, and we came to Antigua.
And
Peter and myself, and
the rest is history.
the rest is history. We never left. You know, some woman nailed me on the cross, hanging there for endless
And why
years.
would you want to leave anyway after that? Anyway, so and where is Peter now?
Peter is still here. We are still the best of friends. He deviated into becoming a very successful businessman. He's building homes, he's building hotels, so he's here.
Right. Okay. And so you run the restaurant now,
Yeah.
and have done for some time.
Yeah. Me and my wife.
You and your wife.
Yeah.
And so we have this philosophy of fish, seafood, and rum.
Yes.
And as you've explained before, where it all came from and that whole history of not just Papa Zouk himself,
Yes.
but your eating of fish and all
Yeah.
wanted to
Well,
drink rum at all times.
there we kind of deviated as well, Peter and myself. He was always more into the food, and then when I started to collect rum, he said, "Why are you spending so much money on rum for?" And I said, "Look, rum is experiencing a renaissance, you know?
Yeah.
Rum is becoming the future alcoholic beverage."
And he didn't see that.
Which we see now,
Yeah.
right? He didn't see that, no. I mean, I spent thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of dollars of rum, you know?
Yeah.
So, he couldn't see it.
Right.
But after a while, then, as he saw that we actually made more money on the bar than
then you do
on the table, you know?
Wet sales are better than dry sales.
Yes, so, yeah,
And dry sales and wet sales has less wastage.
yes.
Because rum doesn't go off.
Yep, that's one thing.
And so neither of you came from a chef background,
Not at all.
but you just loved food. So therefore,
Yes.
you knew what you were tasting and you knew what you wanted to give your customers.
Absolutely.
So you hired your chefs.
We hired a chef. My first chef worked with us for 2 years, 3 years.
Right.
Then she had to go, and I was searching for another chef when my dishwasher said, "Bert, please give me a chance. I know how to cook." And I said, "What do you know how to cook?" "You were washing our dishes." She said, "Yes, but I was watching the chef all night long." Because doing fish or seafood right is all about timing. You can kill a fish twice, you know.
Yes, that makes sense.
So, you know,
Yeah.
and what do you know, I gave her a chance, and she totally blew me, you know. And now she's with me still after
Right.
17, 18 years. She's cooking still with me.
And we'll move on a little bit to talk a bit about the rums and the drinks that you make. But in terms of, do you ever recommend dishes with certain drinks or certain rums? Is that something you've ever ventured down? Because people
Not
talk about
really. I'm
pairings.
normally talking everybody into my house drink, which is my tea punch, which I produce myself, and it has become like a trademark of Papa Zouk. Yeah? Since that was a drink Papa Zouk drunk every day. The tea punch is made of white rum and lime and sugar cane. It's not like a rum punch, which is totally different. So we dealt with the tea punch, and now it became like a trademark, and everybody coming in here, I'm trying to talk them into having a tea punch, and the ones which are repeat guests, they know it already. Before I can even say anything, then do this or this.
And then you know exactly what they want.
Yes, I know exactly what they want. So that is actually the only mix drink, because we don't do blends.
Right.
You know,
Right.
we have either the rum and coke, rum and ginger,
You do your
rum and
strip
soda,
mixes.
whatever,
Right.
or the fine rums which come if anybody wants with a
Drop
with
of
the
ice
ice, you know,
and simple,
which I
Pacific.
prefer that way, you know. And that is it. The newcomers, as I said, I talk them into tea punch. The old ones, which come back and come back, either the tea punch or they know the drill already, they know the rums they
Right.
want, and then they drink the pure rum or the rum and coke,
Right.
whatever. Yeah.
Right. And actually, for our listeners, we actually put a post up yesterday on Carib Rum Chronicles on Instagram, and we talked about the tea punch. and a bit of background about the tea punch, and it is an iconic drink in the French Caribbean. It's quite interesting. I don't know if you have the same philosophy, and you're right. It's not a rum. It's not a rum punch.
No.
And actually, the one ingredient that differentiates it from a rum punch is that it has no weak. Because the rum punch recipe is one of strong, two of weak. Sorry, one of sour, two of sweet, three of strong, and four of weak. So the tea punch has a sour, has a sweet, and has the strong. But it has no weak, because traditionally in the French Caribbean they don't drink it with ice. Right? Do your customers prefer it with ice?
Full with ice.
Filled with ice.
Filled with ice.
Right. So
that's
how it's served.
Yeah.
And
I do my tea punch different. I'm cooking the sugar.
Right.
So in an essence, then you have like a liquid sugar, almost like a syrup. Cooking that myself, which I found out changes the taste so much, and it makes it more intense.
Is it different texture as well?
Different texture. It comes out much rounder, so to speak, than if you put the crystals of the sugar in.
And you pre-batch your tea punch, so you just so it's always served, because when my trips to Martinique and
you make it fresh. Yes.
Well, actually, sometimes they put the ingredients on the table and you make it yourself.
It's different, but you see, there's a difference, because in the French, and I know the tea punch there very well, Guadeloupe, Martinique, Haiti, and so forth. It is very harsh. It is harsh on the stomach lining. Extremely harsh.
It's a quiet taste.
Your stomach lining has to So, not our tea punch. Our tea punch can easily be.
It's an easy drink.
Yeah, it's an easy drink for the average person.
Correct. Yeah. And is there a particular rum agricole that you use in your tea punch, or do you vary?
No agricole. You don't have agricole here.
Okay, so
it's
you
the Antiguan.
It's the Antiguan
rum.
Right. Yeah. So you use the Antiguan white rum.
Yeah.
Okay. Talk a little bit about your menu.
My menu.
We talk about your collection.
Okay.
Your food menu. What can people expect to eat?
Okay. Now, when you and I sit down with everybody and tell them what we have. So for the past 21 years, we have not changed our menu. Every time I try that,
you get upset.
People get upset, because I have people coming here for 21 years. Some of them every month. Some of them every 2 weeks, and they always want the same food.
Right.
So I said, the hell with it. I'm not changing it, So we have, for appetizers, we have the conch fritters, we have the shrimp fritters, sometimes we have crab cake. Then we have tapas, 2 tapas, which is like with fried fish, chicken and plantains, or fried fish and grilled shrimps and plantains, right? And then we have my very best appetizer, which has been really becoming a trademark as well for Papa Zouk, is my fusion of bouillabaisse, French bouillabaisse, and Louisiana seafood gumbo.
Gumbo, right.
Like the French bouillabaisse is more of a broth,
correct. Yeah.
whereas the seafood gumbo is full with ingredients, but so I put these two together. You get a little bowl, Parmesan cheese, and then we have a special way we do, like a garlic sauce, which comes over it. And I tell you, Frenchies don't like to admit that things are better, So, go again. Frenchies don't like to admit that outside of France things are better, right? Like, they can argue with my tea punch, yes, and I agree, because the French tea punch is French tea punch, or the original tea punch, maybe you want to call it, is different, right? But my bouillabaisse, everybody I have here, all the Frenchies, because I like to always test it out. They always say it's the best they ever had. And I'm very proud of it, and it is a process which takes several days, and it never dies, which means the old batch goes into the new batch. So
The flavors continue to grow.
yes,
and develop.
it's divine and yeah. Well, so there we have it. My appetizers. The main course. Our trademark here is what it always was, my fried snapper. That's the whole snapper, and when you come to Papa Zouk, you better come with appetite and being hungry because you're going to get a big fish, right? And we can use that over the snapper, and I always recommend that is my seasoned vinegar, which goes over, which adds another beautiful flavor to it, you know. So that's my fried snapper. One can have it grilled, or you can steam it to make like a fish water, like a local fish water, right, with lots of vegetables in it and so forth, white wine. Yeah. Anyway, so that's the snapper. Then we have our lobsters, and I pride myself again to say that we have one of the best lobsters you can get in Antigua, which is two we have. One is called the lobster mix, which is a half a lobster boiled, garlic lime butter, piece of mahi grilled, shrimp seared. Oh my God, nice.
You get me feeling hungry already.
Myself. The other one is called the lobster carnival, which again is half a lobster boiled. This time it comes with mussels and shrimp and squid, and it all sits in this succulent sauce of garlic.
Can we stop talking about food?
So that is this. If somebody likes a whole lobster, of course they can get the whole lobster. Other than that, we have what is called a house mix, which is fillet of mahi grilled, some butterfish fried, shrimp seared. We have a grill mix, or we have like a fried mix. And if somebody can't make their minds up, we put it in a blender and serve it on ice.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, so that's our menu, which is repeating itself for so many years.
Right. Keep it simple, but
I
keep it
keep
good.
it simple,
Keep it good.
you know, absolutely. Yes.
And that is an amazing, because people like to, many people keep changing, but if you've got a good formula, why change it?
Look, I'm telling you, people coming for 21 years on a constant basis.
So do you have a mixture, therefore, of with these level of regularity of people coming for
Yes.
21 years, and of locals as well as visitors
Look.
from overseas?
Everybody comes to Papa Zouk, like everybody. Whether it's the ministers, the prime ministers, the business sector. What I'm proud of is the movie people like movie actors like Robert De Niro and so forth, or the film directors or film producers, and I have made great contacts here already with my other business, which is film. I'm a film producer. So they coming here as well as the average person, right? Or it could be even the ones who don't necessarily want to have here, but they still come here, and guess what? They all sit together. They all sit together. And
And in normal times, how many people can you see?
if I squeeze them up, 50.
Right. Okay.
Right? And it's a wonderful atmosphere when it's busy and the Zouk music is playing, and it's a great atmosphere, and I'm really missing it right now,
And
With the COVID regulations, of course, I can only have like 25, maximum 30, space them out and throw them out after a while.
Now, it's quite interesting in some of my research and what I knew about, the first thing I learned about Papa Zouk actually was it had the largest, considered to have the largest rum collection in the Caribbean for a bar and restaurant. And then a disaster struck in 2014, and there was a fire. And apparently your rum collection was decimated. But the nice part about it, which you can tell me more, which is what I read, was that your regulars that you mentioned have been coming here for 21 years, kept bringing you bottles to build back your collection. Is that true?
That is true up to now. Because I still haven't reached back to where I was. I had close to 300 different rums. I have now like 220, 230. I haven't really restocked lately because of
COVID, yeah.
But yeah, so I'm almost back again. Yeah, that fire was terrible. It was the 5th of December on a Sunday when I'm closed at 12 midday. Some crazy man threw a combustible in here and burned me down. I think he was a crackhead, you know. He broke in here many times, and I built like a little jailhouse. So he couldn't come in anymore. The last time he actually lifted the roof up. Crazy. I should have gotten a warning because he made a couple times, he made fire in the kitchen and grilled some fish or whatever. I didn't. And when he couldn't get in anymore, he burned me down. So that was terrible because I lost all my rums. What I did though was I collected the burned rums. You can still see some
of the
there.
bottles up there.
Yeah,
We'll look at that.
One of my guys cleaned all the bottles. I didn't want him to do it, but the cleaner cleaned the bottles. They used to look great charred up, you know. But most of them, I put them into a barrel, big barrel. Yeah, all these 200 plus rums which were left. What came out was quite astonishing. I called it then the fire rum. It sounds harsh, but it wasn't. And it isn't.
Very drinkable.
Yeah.
And very drinkable.
Some I have left. I have another bit left in the barrel. But this, and I want you to try it, is my fire rum, and it is very smooth.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
The fire rum.
So what went in here, all the spice
That
from
is
the
lovely.
young
That's
rums.
remarkably smooth. There's no fire to it. There's fire to commemorate the fire, but there's no fire to the rum.
Because lots of the alcohol, of course, evaporated,
yeah.
right? And what was left was the essence of the rum. You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
And in that fire, there must have been rums there that if fire enjoyed, you can't get back again.
No, I can't. I actually had to take one of my rums back, which I gave my son, which was the Clermont 1953, which is worth so much money, you know. And it burned up too, but my son gave it back to me, and I still have it here. And I will only serve it to very special rum connoisseurs which do come to Papa Zouk every so often. And then I blow their mind because it's a very special rum, you know.
But I've had a Clermont 1952.
Yeah.
So
that's the one.
That's the one.
Yeah.
So I've tasted that one.
1952.
Yeah, it's super. It is.
Yeah, it's crazy, you know.
Very,
very nice. So anyway, that is in there. All the old rums I had, you know, from the Diplomaticos to the Ronzacapas and everything. Everything went into the fire rum.
Right. And so you've recollected, and now you're getting back to your former.
Yeah, now I have rums back again from like Papua New Guinea or from Tahiti or India or you know, all these remote places normally nobody has rums from. Well, I do have it. I was fortunate, my daughter, she works on yachts, on super yachts, and they go to all these remote places in the world, and she brought me back every time, you know.
So she always picks up, remembers you and things.
Yeah. She remembers
she
me.
knows, she
remembers me.
But she remembers your passion, and obviously she knows that if I'm going to bring back that gift, you know it wants one.
That's what I want.
Just wants one.
And so I built back my my collection again, and it's almost there. You know?
Right.
So I'm pretty proud of that.
And finally, well, not quite finally, I have one other question after this, but there's a question I always get asked for somebody myself who's been drinking rum, and I also collect rums at home. And I get asked this question many times, and I'm going to see what answer you give me. Do you have a favorite rum?
Yeah, I do. I have the Centenario 30 years from Costa Rica. In my humble opinion, is the best rum.
For you. Right, excellent. Okay. And finally, to move away from it all, since I've been speaking to you, you're a man of many passions. right? You paint. You
Well,
scuba dive.
that's a
You
whole
film
different,
do it.
that's a whole different story.
What else have I
Painting.
missed? What else have I missed? Do you find time? We're not going to talk about these individuals. How do you find time?
I try to squeeze it in. As you can see, I found some time to sit with you and talk to you, although I'm arranging right now another big film production which we're going to start next week Sunday. And, so there's lots of running around. In between, I started a new painting when I'm trying to chill down in early mornings or late afternoons when I'm back home if I have the time. Then I paint, then I let my savant syndrome take the better of me, because I never painted before. My big passion is film. My son turned out to be one of the big cinematographers in the world, which is great. He does great stuff. We're working on a new movie project together, which hopefully takes place either the end of the year or the beginning of next year. So what other passion do I have? Bodybuilding. I used to be the president here for
Oh my
8
goodness!
years.
I don't even know where to start. But finally, can I say,
Yes.
Bert, a pleasure talking to you.
Absolutely, my friend.
I wish and I hope that you will be open again soon. Not just for all of the people who come to Antigua and the ones who live here to enjoy, but also the fact that I want to come back and eat and drink as well.
Absolutely.
And I look forward to many more successful years for you.
Thank you very much, and maybe I have my tea puncher next time. Try to break the record, which is 13.
Oh no! Oh my goodness!
It was a Canadian guy.
When I was a young man, I would.
I don't think you could do that either. Nobody was ever able to break that. He was a big guy, but when he ordered number 8, I said, I can't be. Let me watch him if he's throwing him away and just trying to push out the big chest. So I watched him. He sat right over there, and he drank them. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I said, when you drink 13 in these classes, you actually drink, right? You drink a gallon of rum, which normally will kill a person, right? So he didn't slur. He talked totally straight, which threw me off.
Walk straight out.
He walked straight out. He took his car key out and he refused to give me the key. So we all went out. And he drove straight down. No
deviation.
Nothing. The end of the road, it goes either left or right, and he drove straight. Right into a house. Total discount. And that's the story of Legendary Papa Zouk.
So don't drink 30.
I tell this story all the time because it was amazing.
And I'm sure there's many stories that you have that you could tell.
Yeah, some of them I really can't and shouldn't tell.
And we'll leave that for the future. Again, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Much appreciated.
All right.
Bert Krishna, Papa Zouk. Thank you.